Okay, you're all set.
Okay, so let's get started. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the October meeting for the Town of Niskayuna Task Force on Racial Equity and Justice. I welcome everyone, including the townspeople. And we'll start. One minute, I'm just pulling up my agenda. The agenda was posted online, and I'm going to start with a brief roll call of all task force members. I just ask everyone at this time to please mute your audio and respond when I call on you to let me know that you are present and attending the meeting. So let's proceed. Alan Gatson Jr., are you present?
Present.
Thank you. Angela Antonkowski, are you present? I'll note Angela did send me a note that she had a late matter that popped up and she may not attend. Arinka Abad, are you present? Please state. Present. Thank you. Dale Black Pennington, present. David Amadeo.
Present.
Thank you. Devon Wembley. Dr. Hayward Horton.
Present.
Thank you. Dr. Jamie Puccioni.
Present.
Elizabeth Paul. Elizabeth Paul.
Here. I'm here.
Julian Margolis.
Here, and I just want to know, I believe Devon just entered.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Jillian?
I am here, and I believe Devon did just log on.
Okay, after I'm done, I will recall his name. John Lemelin.
Present.
Kitaki K. Budhunker.
Present.
Larry Ritter.
Present.
Priti Irani.
Present.
Sandra Griffin.
Present.
And attending on behalf of the town attorney's office, Mr. Briggs.
Good evening, everyone.
Thank you. Let's discuss our old business as indicated on the agenda. The 9/9 or September 9th meeting minutes were submitted to everyone. Comment was had and the minutes have been updated. Does anyone wish to comment on those minutes? Please indicate by sending a text message within the program. Otherwise, we will move on and take a vote for approval. You may do so now. Okay, I see that. Okay. The only comment I have indicates approved. So at this time, I'm going to motion to take a vote for approval of those minutes.
I second your motion.
Thank you. So at this point, we'll move forward with the vote. And before I do that, let me just go back. I'm sorry, Devon, I meant to go back and just get you in the roll call. Are you, Devon, present? I can't hear you. Okay, I can see you.
Present.
Thank you. Okay, so now at this point, we'll move forward with the vote regarding the agenda for September 9th, 2020. Please indicate your approval by saying approved or non-approved. Alan Gatson,
Approved.
Arinka Abad,
Approve.
Dale Black Pennington, approved. David Amadeo,
Approved.
Devon Wimley,
Approved.
Hayward Horton,
Approved.
thank you. Elizabeth Paul,
Approved. Oh, shoot.
Jamie Margolis, I'm sorry, Jamie Puccioni,
Approved.
Jillian Margolis,
Approved.
John Lemelin,
Approved.
Kataki K. Bodhenker,
Approved.
Larry Ritter,
Approved.
thank you. Priti Irani,
Approved.
and Sandra Griffin. She's shaking her.
Approved.
Thank you,
Approved.
Sandra. I will note then that the minutes for September 9th, 2020 have been approved unanimously and have been accepted. They will be posted with the in the office of the town board, the town office, and they're already posted online. At this time, we're going to move forward. We're actually a little out of order because I understand that Dr. Horton has an engagement and must leave early, and he has agreed to move forward and take the task force vote on our leadership structure. We have nominations for the 4 offices that have been delineated and voted upon previously. And so at this time, Dr. Horton, I will turn the microphone over to you.
Thank you, Dale. Let's see now. John, could you put up the page that has the nominees? I could not access my page.
Information. John, we can't see your screen. You might have to do a couple more clicks. You're also muted, so we can't hear what you're saying.
Okay, let me see if I can pull it up. I'm gonna text John just to make sure. There it is.
I went ahead and did it.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you,
Can
Jamie.
you see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you make it a little bigger? My eyes are not as young as they used to be.
Does that help?
Okay. Excellent. Well, actually,
No.
no, just a little
Okay.
bigger. Now
How
That
about that?
that works for my eyes. Thank you.
Perfect.
All right. We're going to go. What we're going to do is we're going to go through each position, and we'll take the votes. So please let me know how you vote as I call your name. Again, for the position of chair, we have Dale. So let's see here, Alan. How do how do you vote?
Yay.
Okay. Let's see. Angela's not here. Arinka.
I'm just a little confused. So there's only one person in there, so I have to agree with that or just say yes?
Just say yes.
You have the option of saying yay, nay, or abstain.
Yay.
Vote. So you
Okay.
can say yes, no, or you abstain.
Okay, yay.
All right. Dale.
Yay.
Okay. David.
Yay.
Okay. Devon.
Yay.
All right. Doc, yay. Liz. Liz? Is she there? Okay.
Wait.
Is Liz there? Okay. Jamie.
Yay.
Okay. Jillian.
Yay.
John.
I'm yay, and sorry about that. My Outlook browser crashed, so I'm back, and I vote yay.
Okay, that's all right. We forgive you this time. Kay.
Yay.
All right. Larry.
Yay.
Pretty.
Yay.
Okay. Sandra.
Yay.
All right. Okay. Well, let the record show we have a unanimous vote for Dale. Congratulations, Dale. All right. For vice chair, we've got 3 candidates here. Okay, there's Jamie, Pretty, and Ari. Okay. So we'll go on to see now. Alan.
Jamie.
Okay. Angela. Oh, Angela's not here. My bad. Arika. Ari.
Jamie?
Okay. Dale.
Jamie?
Okay. David.
Jamie.
Okay. Devon.
Jamie.
Okay. Doc. Jamie. Liz. That's right. Liz isn't here. Jamie.
I'd like to cast a vote for myself.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good. Jillian.
Jamie.
John.
I think I'm going to cast my vote for Jamie.
Okay. Let's see. Kay.
I'd like to vote for Preeti.
All right. Okay. Larry.
Jamie.
Okay. Pretty.
Jamie.
Okay. And Sandra.
Jamie.
Okay. Well, seems like we've got 12 for Jamie and 1 for Pretty. So Jamie is our vice chair. Congratulations. All right. For our communications director, we have 1 candidate, and that's Kay. All right. And so, Alan.
Yay for K.
Okay. Ari.
Yay.
Dale,
K.
David,
Kay, and thank you for the nomination, everyone, whoever nominated me.
okay, Devon,
Yay.
okay, Doc, yay, uh, Liz, that's right, Liz, I keep forgetting Liz's name. Jamie,
Yay.
okay, Jillian,
Yay for Kay. And I'm so sorry to interrupt. Liz is texting me. She can't unmute herself.
oh, okay, I guess we'll go back and get her votes. Let's see now. Where do we live off of? That was Jillian. Okay, John.
Okay.
Okay, Kay.
I'd like to abstain.
Okay. Larry.
Yay for Kay.
All right. Pretty.
A.
Okay. And Sandra.
K.
All right. Congratulations, Kay. Finally,
Thank you.
for secretary, we have two candidates, John and Ari. So please
Dr. Horton, I would like to respectfully decline the
okay.
nomination. I really thank you for everyone or whoever nominated me, but I thank you that.
Okay.
I actually texted John about this.
Okay. Thank you. For the official record, Alan.
Yay for John.
Okay. Ari.
John.
Okay. Dale.
Yes for John.
David.
Yay for John.
Devon.
Yay for John.
Fantastic. Doc. Yay for John. Liz, are you unmuted yet? Okay. We'll come back. Jamie.
Yay for John.
Okay, thank you. Jillian.
Yay.
John.
Yay.
Kay.
Yay for John.
Fantastic. Larry.
Yay for John.
Pretty.
Yay for John.
And Sandra.
Yay, John.
All right. Well, with that last enthusiastic vote, congratulations, John. And so let us all give some applause for our new officers. I know they will serve us well. And with that being done, I will hand things over to our fearless leader, our chair, Dale.
Thank you, Dr. Horton. We will move on at this point to the third item on our agenda, which is the approval of the vote on the task force bylaws. As you know, the structure committee made up of myself, Dr. Horton, Sandra Griffin, Jamie Puccioni, Elizabeth Paul, and John Lemelin, I think I'm leaving someone out, have been meeting for the last 3 months to develop the task force bylaws. And we've submitted a number of versions to the general task force. I thank you, Kay, Pretty, Arinka, David, and everyone else for your input. We now have a final version that we wish to have a vote taken on. Does anyone wish to comment at this point before we take a vote? And you can indicate by just sending a text, and then I will call on you.
Dale, I would like to make a comment. I think I sent an email a couple of minutes before the meeting started, so
I'm sorry, I didn't see your email. I was preparing for the meeting.
that's
And
fine.
what is it that you wish to state?
The email that I sent everybody basically states that, let me see if I can go back into my sent email. Okay, says, Dear Dale, I want to work with you on the edits of the bylaw if possible. I have a couple of suggestions. I am not sure if you received my comments on the bylaws. I emailed 9/25. I wonder if you and the structure committee are open for discussion in regards to the chair attendance. No meetings can take place without the chair's attendance since it's a mandatory. Any other member can be absent, not the chair. Also, we could add about the chairs of each groups and subgroups as well, since that is not actually in the bylaws. So I was just thinking about that and perhaps go over one more time with the bylaws and provide my thorough input about it, and just edit it like as a team. I don't know.
Does anyone on the structure committee wish to address that comment? I will reply in a moment. Okay, I'll reply for the structure committee. We've spent hours revising it, and we've sent the bylaws out more than 2 weeks ago for revision. I did see your comments, and we incorporated changes and sent out a final copy to the team. At this point, since your last email was sent just before the meeting, I think the bylaws are ready for us to vote on. We will vote on it. If it's not passed by a majority, then we will certainly go back to the drawing board. As for the chair's presence at every meeting, I believe the bylaws indicate that the chair may designate or have a proxy appear on his or her behalf. And as to appearance at the meeting, at our general meeting, we do require a majority of at least 10 members to proceed. So say we have a date where we have less than 10, we would have to adjourn that meeting. And so it's addressed in the bylaws. That's the position that I take at this point. And I'll open it up for brief comment if anyone wants to address what I just said. And if I get no comments, we'll proceed with the vote. Oh, Kay. I'm sorry, Kay. I see that the name.
No,
Kay, you have a comment?
no, I have a question, but it's an unrelated question to Ari's.
Okay. Sure, Kay, you can proceed with your question.
So my question is regarding terms for officers and terms in general. So if, let's say, the communication coordinator term is for 1 year, but the task force term expires before that, how do we proceed with that?
That actually is an issue that we will have to address because our terms are ultimately governed by the town board. And should the town board decide that they wish to reappoint us, I'm thinking that they're going to develop a process to notify us, ask if we wish to again be appointed to the board, and then in their general meetings reappoint us. I may have to defer to our attorney representative. Paul, would you be able to address our terms and how the board will be handling that?
So the terms will be, as you said, the I don't recall, and maybe someone can remind me whether I don't believe there's a term set forth in the town board resolution. The
resolutions appoints in a sliding scale. We're all appointed on a sliding scale of 3. 5 of us have been appointed for 3 years. 5 have been appointed for 2 years. and 5 have been appointed for 1 year.
So that's the customary way that committees are aligned so that we don't have a complete turnover in 1 year. So the process is that when the people that are only appointed for a year, when their term is coming up, the task force would then approach the town board, or we also have that in our diary system, to approach the task force and ask whether those people are interested in continuing. And then if they are, the town board may then open it up also to other people that may be interested. And then the town board would determine who would be appointed to fill those spots. And the same thing would happen as each term expired.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be automatic. It would require, as you said, a town board resolution. And normally the town board always opens up the process to any new people that may be interested and looks into that also.
Okay. So ultimately, Kay, as Paul has indicated, it will be up to the town board to determine whether or not they're going to reappoint an individual.
So Dale, following the vote, is it fair to say that my term as a communication coordinator then is effectively for 9 months until July when the positions are open again? Okay.
That's correct. And as with you, my term also will be for 9 months since I'm a 1-year appointee. And we will have to revisit it as a task force with the town board. And in either case, we're starting late in the year with these offices. So I think all of us that have just been placed in the leadership positions realistically are looking at a 9-month period before we revisit revoting and actually addressing term limits with the board. Any other questions before we go forward with our vote on the bylaws? Okay.
I move that we vote on the bylaws.
I will second that vote and we will move forward. Again, I just ask that you state yay, nay, or abstain. Alan, your vote on the bylaws?
Yay.
Arinka?
Abstain.
Dale Black Pennington, I say yay. David Amadeo?
Yay.
Thank you. Devon Wembley?
Yay.
Thank you, Devon. Dr. Hayward Horton?
Yay.
Elizabeth Paul? Okay, I was just looking because she's been able to text and I don't see a response yet.
Yay.
She just
By
texted yay.
text via Jillian.
Okay, great. Jamie Puccioni?
Yay.
Jillian Margolis?
Yay.
John Lemeling?
Yay.
Kay?
Yay.
Larry Ritter?
Yay.
Pruti Irani?
Yay.
Sandra Griffin?
Yay.
We have a vote of 13 with 1 abstaining, and the bylaws have passed. I note that the bylaws do have a provision for amendment, so as we go along and actually perform as a group, amendments may be provided and we may update it at any time as we actually function. So this is our first step to move forward, and now we can roll up our sleeves and get started. We have bylaws and we have a leadership committee. So at this time, our first working group wishes to make their monthly presentation and give us updates. I will turn the tables over to John and Larry.
Do you want to go ahead, Larry, and start? Or
No, you can. Go right ahead, John.
1 minute,
Okay.
John and Larry, before you go. I'm sorry, Doc. I've been a little rude. I realize it's 6:30 and I know that you have a meeting to go to. Do you wish to stay a little longer, or am I being presumptuous?
He's on mute.
You're muted.
I got to get used to Google Meets. I'm a Zoom guy, but nevertheless, I do have to go to my other meeting. But again, it looks like we're off to a great start, and so I'm just happy to be on board. You guys keep on with the good work, and I'll see you at our next meeting. Take care now.
Thank you. Okay, John, I apologize. I'll turn the tables back over to you. And Larry, thank you, Larry.
All right, and thank you, Dale. So very excited to give an update on the public safety working group to the task force. First, our members, Ari, Liz, Dale, Jillian, Yvonne, myself, and Larry. We've conducted 2 Zoom calls so far. The first one was kind of a social get together for us to get to know each other a little better and talk about the working group. Second call we had was actually last night. It was very good discussion about some of the work that we need to do for the working group, and some of the things I'm going to share with you today are the things that we talked about last night as a group. We started with the discussion of the scope of the working group, and the scope of the working group is a review from a standpoint of racial equity of the Niskayuna Police Department and the town court. So those are the 2 organizations within the town that we'll be looking at. And our scope is to support the town in their compliance with Executive Order 203. I think Supervisor Syed mentioned that she's looking forward to working with our group as she works with the board to comply with that executive order, and we're excited to help her and help the town. We did discuss the New York State Police Reform and Reinvention Collaborative. They produced a very interesting book, about 130 pages, about policing and police initiative within the state of New York. So that was an excellent guide, and we talked about that a bit. And then basically we talked about 3 different major activities that our group is going to work on. Number 1 is conducting focus groups for community input specific to policing. And the second one is collecting best practices and references, again, specific to policing. There's another reference that we talked about, which is the President's Task Force on 21st Century Policing. It was done by the Obama administration, but it's also another really good reference that's actually referred to several times in the New York State document that I held up a minute ago. So second effort is to find best practices and standards and reference material. We're going to go to Syracuse, or look at Syracuse, Rochester, every place we can think of to look for that type of information. So again, specific to policing. And then the third is collecting relevant information from the town, from Niskayuna Police Department and the town courts. We're going to look for policies, procedures, training manuals, things like that. And Paul, I know that we'll be working with your office and collecting and making sure that information is available and redacted, et cetera, as you generously offered. So those are the 3 activities that we're planning. Each member of the working group then volunteered to work on 1 or more of those 3 activities. So we've kind of broken our team up into 3 different parallel efforts. And then the working group also nominated myself and Larry as co-chairs. And we established an ongoing working group call schedule So we're going to make sure that we, at a minimum, we talk every other Monday. So that's kind of what we've done so far. Our work going forward includes working on those 3 initiatives that I mentioned. We're going to be sure and define the tasks and the timelines that everybody is working on so that we can help coordinate our work and make sure everyone's continuing to progress with the understanding that we're all volunteers. So we're going to try to be realistic and reasonable with our work as well. We also want to spend a little bit of time defining our final product so it's clear what it is what's the report going to look like when we're done, so we can make sure that everyone is working toward that end. We're obviously going to have to coordinate with the town on the scope and schedule of our work so that we best support them in their work in complying with the executive order. And we'll track progress and report updates to the task force on our monthly meetings, if that makes sense. So that's kind of an overview. Larry, do you want to add something, and then we'll open it up?
Yeah. Am I on mute or I'm off? I'm off. The one thing that was also important is when we first met with the group and we talked about the focus groups, and John has mentioned, I just wanted to go a little bit further, is the focus groups, we wanted to come from a place where we get to hear what everybody is saying. And in the focus groups, we talked about a focus group with just the officers, the police officers, just a focus group with the community, and then having a focus group where we hear what our police officers and the force is saying in our community in separate focus groups, but then have them come together and we will have a better understanding of the needs of both, and we can have a real conversation. And we thought that that would also support what we're doing, because what that says to the community is everybody's voice is being heard, and we hear you, and we want to make this work for the town of Niskayuna and anybody that's looking at it to see how we're moving forward in what we're doing. So that was just a little that we talked about with the focus groups. Other than that, question, go right ahead.
Just a quick question. Will your group, John, Larry, be putting like your agenda and then your agenda meeting minutes in our general drive so that if anybody wants to just take a look and to know what the group is doing, do you intend to do that?
Yes, in fact, Jillian was kind enough to volunteer to take meeting minutes on the meeting we had last night. We didn't take meeting minutes on the first meeting. It was, like I said, it was more of a social gathering, but we do have meeting minutes for the meeting last night. And as soon as we get a chance to double check them, I think we'll certainly post those for people in the task force to take a look at what we're doing.
I think that's a great way for all the work groups to proceed so that we can all understand what each group is doing. And also if someone has a relevant thought, suggestion, could leave a note. Not that I think you should have your documents edited, like they shouldn't be allowed to be edited by everyone, but maybe in that folder, you might include a document in which members could leave a comment or something like that. So then it doesn't have to wait until our formal monthly meeting. And then maybe when you post those documents, you could send an email to everyone. Our recent agenda minutes, our agenda and our meeting minutes are posted. Please feel free to take a look. And then anyone can leave a comment on a general comment page, possibly.
Okay, no, those are all great ideas. We'll definitely do that.
Yep. Any other input from the group?
It sounds like you guys are off to a great start.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really like how you, with regard to the 3 goals you outlined, they're very, they're aligned to the town resolution. It's very clear. Collect data, analyze their data, think about best practices, develop a final report. So I will be checking in and seeing if there's any way I can help along the way.
Okay, hearing no additional comments, we're going to move on. We also have a first presentation from the Data and Best Practices Work Group. They're going to present their monthly update. Priti Arani is going to start that presentation. Priti, I turn it over to you.
How do I pull up the presentation?
Do you want me to try to drive the screens? Pretty.
You
Yeah,
can hit present now, which will be at the bottom of your screen.
and then I get a Chrome tab, your entire screen. If I do my entire screen, okay, I can try. Let's see.
But you have to actually click on the screen. Like there'll be like a picture of your screen, and you have to click on that so it's selected, and then you can hit select, and then you can hit share.
Dale, I have a question before Pretty starts. My question about the safety task force or the committee that John and Larry are creating. Will task force members be able to work with the focus groups if they're not in the actual committee?
I'm going to let John and Larry answer that question. My feeling is that I would expect that all of us will be able to work with all other groups. But John, have you got and Larry, have you guys discussed the process?
We haven't gotten that deep into it, but we welcome your input, and especially when we're doing the focus groups, your assistance is greatly appreciated. I think John would feel the same way about that.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Can you see my screen now?
Priti, I can't see your screen.
Okay, let's see. I mean, I can see my screen, but let's try again.
Pretty, they're the same slides you sent, right?
Right.
Okay, just in case.
Pretty, you actually had it up. You had it on?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
Okay, let me try again. It is on my screen, but I don't know if it was showing up. So let's just share. And let's see if I can bring it up again. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll just take 5 minutes over here. So this presentation is actually for anybody who wasn't on our subgroup meeting and anybody else. It's a work group that has not yet begun working. So part of the things is we're going to propose some ground rules for the work group based on trust, connection, and those words I'm not going to say, but it's for people to read, and probably at an actual work group meeting, I'll explain it more. But trust, connection, respect, inclusive, co-create, and systems perspective. Those are some of the values that we will discuss and see if anybody has something to add or something that we don't understand. So at the first meeting, I'll probably spend more time doing that. So why data, information, and best practices? So these questions are actually pretty generic questions across different fields. What is our understanding of our situation and potential outcomes? Where are we now? Where do we want to be? How will we know when we get there? What is the best way to get there? What are our fears and hopes? What are trade-offs we are willing and not willing to make? So these I see in education, in healthcare, in medicine. So these are pretty good questions across a number of fields. So I thought these are ones we'll start with. And the one part of this group is it'll go beyond task force members. So I'm hoping to invite anybody from the community who's interested. And the reason for that is it builds trust. I hope we'll co-create some materials and the information together. It strengthens alignment in our community. And this group in this phase is really to see the big picture, whether it's schools or whether it's jails or whether it's government or whether it's just different fields. Where does this fit in the equity, racial equity kind of picture? We'll identify strategic course of action. And I'm hoping, because this is a big topic, that we'll get people helping in different parts of the work that needs to be done. So our focus of our group will be to identify best practices and policies. We will not at this stage focus on specific organizations or persons. How will this work group be selected? This was one of the questions we got in the subgroup meeting. There will not be a selection process. Everybody will be welcome. What I find when I work with these work groups is people self-select, but we'll also be looking for who is not in the work group and reaching out to them. Another question we got is how will we avoid duplication of tasks across different work groups? We heard John say he's going to post stuff on the shared drive, and we will too. But again, like I said, this will be not something really specific. It'll be a big picture work group, and we'll coordinate, through shared materials. I anticipate this work group will start work in January, and it'll take 4 to 6 months to really put out a big picture report. What is expected after phase 1? We expect to identify a prioritized kind of strategic course of action. And then our focus will be on doing what action that we identify. And so how can you get more information about the data and best practices work group? I did set up niski.bestpractices@gmail.com. So if you have questions, put it there. I just felt sometimes things get lost in my personal email, so it helps to have a specific email. So that's it. The group has not yet started work and will start in January. That's all. Thank you. And I'm going to stop sharing.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for Priti and her work group?
I had a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just jumped right in because I'm excited. I see data and best practices, and I like data. I remember there was some talk about thinking about how this group might start collecting some, I'll call it quantitative data and searching for quantitative data. Will that still be a part of this work group, or are we, that's that question. What thoughts?
Yes, actually, there is, if you look, there's a folder in the shared drive with an Excel chart with some of the data sources. But the actual work will actually, like I said, start in January. Informally, I'm beginning to put stuff in there. And, what I see is potential. But we'll really start in January, where we begin to get a sense of what people want to know about.
And when you say people, that's inclusive. It's our task force, it's community.
That's right. Whoever decides wants to be part of the work group. Devin, did you have a question? Did you have your hand up? No?
Yeah, I did. I guess it circles the wagon again in regards to the question asked earlier that Kay asked, I believe, and it's in regards to, if you look at the question that Priti said, and what is expected after phase 1. At that point, after phase 1, she had mentioned that it was going to take place in January. We're in October, and I guess what I'm asking is if that's another 3 months with 4 months of work after that, 3 people besides Kay and Dell are going to are only allowed 1 year in their spot. So then we're moving 3 more people. Are we also considering what's happening to our seats evolving with the work and the new people taking over at a time when we are actually delving into our investigations and our practices?
Mhm. Yeah, Devin, this won't impact this group so much because it's an open group. It's not only task force members. So even if they move out, they can still participate. I'm there 3 terms. There will be a co-chair with me. I don't intend to do this alone. So this really doesn't depend on terms at all, because even if you're not on the task force, you can participate.
If you're not, okay.
May I please, if I may, Dale, thank you. So I guess this is for more for Paul. If I'm not mistaken, Paul, at the end of any one of our terms, is it the town or the task force who decides whether our terms will be extended? Or you said we will be asked if we would like to continue serving, and if we are, what would that be for 3 more years, regardless of when our terms expire, our current terms expire? Because that may alleviate some of the anxiety over continuity on any of the working groups. So, Paul, if you could answer that or address that, please.
Paul, David has addressed the question to you. Would you be able to answer that question at this time?
I don't know if he's on,
Did
huh?
we lose Paul Briggs?
Laura's on.
Yeah, Laura, did we lose Paul? Can you tell?
Oh, there he is.
Oh.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Paul. Did you hear David's question? Would you like
No,
me to
I did not.
Okay, David has asked you whether or not it's the task force or the town board that's going to be responsible for reappointing members once their term expires.
So when their term expires, the town board will be the body that appoints new members. And as I said earlier, the town board's process normally in these circumstances is to not only entertain the existing members that are terms are expiring, but also to open the process up to other people that may be interested. And so, but in the end, it is the town board that reappoints the people as their term expires.
And would that appointment then be for a 3-year period thereafter?
Yes, every new appointment would be for 3 years.
Okay. So it's still possible then, Paul, that if our term, whenever our term expires, the town board can come to us or not and say, are you interested in continuing in serving on this task force? Or they can bypass us and go to a new selection process to fill our seat that's expiring. Is that correct?
So I've been in the town attorney's office now for 30 years, and I've never seen the town board not entertain the existing members. But I've also seen them often look beyond the existing members to see if there's someone else that may be interested. So no, I've never seen the town board not give consideration to an existing member.
Okay.
For a reappointment.
All right, so I think that's some comfort or consolation for any of us who decide to serve on a working group, that there is at least the possibility for continuity in membership and in scope and goals. Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Paul. Any other questions? Yes, Arinka?
Pretty, when would you like to have the next meeting? Do you have any idea when will that be?
In January. And the reason I say January is because now we get into, if we don't have a meeting by October, then you get into Thanksgiving and then the holidays. So it's hard to get community. So it'll be towards the end of January. So soon after the new year, we'll kind of put out a notice and say, if you want to join a meeting. So, and I'll be back. I'm, still out of the country.
Okay. At the end of the month. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, hearing no additional questions, and I see no text, we'll move on then to our new business. The new business will be to select new meeting dates. I actually have a list of proposed dates. Since we are required to meet monthly, and I believe those dates are at or about the second, 1 minute, let me just check my notes here. The second Wednesday of each month. That appears to be a date that's open on the town calendar, and it would be a consistent date. The second Wednesday in November, however, is Veterans Day, and so we will meet on the previous day, which will be Tuesday, November 10th. I will send the list around to everyone. At this point, is there anyone who has other suggestions or comments?
On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I teach. So I think that for that month of November, that shouldn't be a problem. And I do like the Wednesdays. Since we have been having consistently, I think it's a great idea to have it like the same day fall in each month. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? John?
And this may be more for Paul. Paul, when we picked the dates, we tried to find dates that were available on the town calendar. There's actually nothing posted on the town calendar starting in January. So we're hopeful that the second Wednesday will continue to be available, but actually there's actually no meetings on the calendar, it looks like, in 2021 yet. So that's just FYI, I guess, to you.
Town board meetings are always on Tuesdays. We have planning and zoning. I think that's on Mondays. Laura, help me. Is one of those on Wednesday?
Yeah, John, the reason they're not on the calendar because the individual boards set their 2021 dates in November and December. Yeah, planning board's typically second and fourth Monday. Zoning board's third Wednesday. CAC's first Wednesday. Those will go on the calendar. I don't think that there's a standing meeting that's the second Wednesday. But they won't go until the board set their own dates, which they do in November and December.
Second Wednesday.
So it looks like we're pretty safe on the second Wednesday of each month, except for November, which will be on a Tuesday because of Veterans Day. So I'll just send that around in writing, and we'll follow through with that if there are no objections from the majority of us. Then the other issue, the other new business will be actually to move into second gear, and that will be for everyone to take a look at our org chart and for us to decide as a group what our working groups are going to be, so that in November we can actually move forward and have working groups. The org chart was sent around by Jillian, and so if everyone could just provide comments by end of business on, today is Wednesday, by end of business on Friday. We do have some recommendations. I believe that Ari recommended mental health. And I know that some people were interested in taking a look at youth programs, parks and recreations. I would recommend only that we try to structure our working group according to actual town programs. So we're taking a look at the town programs and what they're offering in terms of collecting our data and the recommendations we're going to be making. I'll send out a list of the town programs. I actually downloaded that today and started taking a look at it. And we'll work with the org chart and hopefully have our work groups all set up. Any comments?
I think that I agree with what you shared, and I think even just really reviewing the resolution and kind of that's the 6 points in the resolution is I think a really solid way. It will help us build a solid foundation on developing work groups that are laser focused on the resolution and what our goals are as a task force. So I revisited that document today, and it helped me think about conversations I've had with other task force members and how do we take some of those narratives, some of that qualitative data we have about experiences, and then align some of those to the town resolution. So if anyone hasn't taken a look at that, I encourage you to do so. And it'll help us really develop cohesive work groups that have a targeted purpose, and we can have a really a solid report, because ultimately we want to have reports that we can make recommendations to the town to help ameliorate any racial inequities that we've unearthed through our analysis.
Great, thanks, Jamie. Any other comments, recommendations? At this time, I'm going to open the floor to any, oh, I'm sorry, Devon?
I'm sorry. D'Angelo was giving me a high five. Come here, D.
Oh, okay, okay. I'll open the floor at this time for any additional comments or new business that other members wish to introduce at this time. Yes, Kay.
Dale, when Preeti and I and Liz and others met to discuss the data and best practices, one of the really interesting and key nugget that Preeti put in my head was around the ground rules, right? In business and professional culture, we call them working agreements. When a large diverse group comes together towards a single goal, having something as a working agreements is a great way to be inclusive and channelize your energy, your efforts, your conversations to the goal. So what I would like to propose to bring to the task force next meeting is a working agreements, a list of working agreements. I will create and share a draft prior to the meeting. Just basically, instead of calling them, we have bylaws, which are laws which we will stick by. Working agreements would be basically how we work as a group. So I would like to propose and bring that to the task force prior to the next meeting.
Sounds good. Any other comments about what Kay has said, or comments other people want to introduce?
Yes, Kay, I just want to add to your comment, absolutely. When I'm facilitating professional learning communities, we develop protocols. When I'm teaching 6th graders, we have protocols. So I love that. I like the language. I hadn't heard it referred to that before, but I think that is a good next step, because I also think we need to think about building community amongst our task force members. I think when we worked in our subcommittees, our working groups, we were able to get to know each other and build rapport and relational trust. And so I think we need to expand that to some larger groups in the task force, our 15-member task force. So I think that sounds like a great next step to doing that work.
Kay, I also love that idea. I think that's awesome ground rules. Exactly like what this task force could use. I would love to help you if you need any assistance. I'd love to help you come up with those. Yeah, I like doing the background work. That's what I like to do. So anything I can do to help.
Thank you, Jillian. Thank you, Jamie. And yes, I will share the draft, and then any input is great.
Thank you, Kay. Any other comments?
Hi, if I may, Dale,
Yeah,
please.
David,
Thank
sure.
you. So I just wanted to let the task force know that I took the liberty of ordering a publication for all of us. It's this booklet. It's not quite 50 pages, and it's called Working Together to End Racism. Healing from the Damage Caused by Racism. It's by a gentleman named Tim Jackins, Jackins, and others, Tim Jackins and others. And it's part of the reevaluation counseling community. I don't want to really call it a movement, but maybe an effort perhaps. But it's an excellent publication. I used it a bit in my previous life in education. It's not quite 50 pages. It's not too difficult to get through. It's got some great ideas, and I think would help us accomplish what Jamie just mentioned about creating a community among ourselves of our goals, our energy, our concerns perhaps, and how to address them. We probably can't use all of this because it's kind of specific in terms of the practice of what they call RC, or reevaluation counseling. But I think it would be a great place for conversation to begin, and not mold our whole mission, but to inform it in some way, shape, or form. So I ordered a copy for all of us. I have them all here. I've got one for every town board member, for Paul and Alexis. Laura, you're welcome to one as well. And I will get them to you some way, shape, or form if you tell me. I mean, I can drive around Niskayuna and deliver them instead of putting them in the mail. But anyway, yeah, so just so you can expect these at some point. If you tell me how to get them to you, I'll get them to you, and we can start having some conversations around this work. Thank you.
David, I'm sorry.
Thank you, David.
Sure.
David, if you would drop off enough copies for the town board members in my office, and Laura, just drop those off at the front desk at the town hall and have them put in my mailbox, and I'll get them distributed.
I'll be happy to. Thank you. Thanks for that offer.
Okay, thanks, David.
Sure.
Paul, does your offer extend to the task force? Paul?
What we could do is, if David wants to, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, if David wants to leave copies for everybody, we have a receptionist now at the town hall. So as soon as you walk into the town hall building, there's a receptionist there.
Mhm.
I can leave it, if David leaves enough copies for everybody, I can just have her have them there. And the members can each come to the front desk and ask to pick those up.
Perfect.
Okay, that sounds great. So we can
Paul,
with that way.
can you get in the town now?
Yes.
Yes, the town hall is
Okay.
open.
Okay.
Yep, town hall is open again.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you, David. This is exciting. Any other comments, questions? Do I have a motion to close the meeting?
Oh, wait a minute.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I was off and on. Did anyone, is anybody a member of the Rosendale Estates News? because I was talking with John last night and I saw something. There was a meeting last night by Next Door. It's a group Next Door, and they had a meeting. It said meet someone different than you, and have the conversation about the effects of systemic racism on Black American life. And they were having a get together at Starbucks. And I didn't know if anybody had heard about that, or did anybody attend or anything. So I just wanted to ask that question.
I saw that on the Nextdoor app.
So did I.
And no, I didn't reach out, but pretty, if you're on the Nextdoor app, or somehow maybe we can reach out to those folks, because those folks might want to engage in some of your work.
True.
I just wanted to bring it to the group because I didn't know if everybody had heard about it or whatever. And as we move forward, there's a lot of groups that are being established now. And I think that we need to just maybe, not right now, but as we move forward, we might be able to do some stuff together with some of those groups, or not recreate stuff that we don't have and see what they've done that's worked well or whatever. But, as we move forward.
Great. Sounds like a great suggestion. And again, that goes to best practices and some data collection. So sounds fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Any other comments? Okay, do I have a motion to close the meeting?
I move to close the meeting.
Anyone?
I second it.
Second.
Okay. So moved. Before I formally close, I do want to make a statement that I neglected to make earlier, and I apologize to both Pretty, actually three people, Pretty, David, and Larry. I'm aware that you've suffered losses in your family. We've all collectively expressed our deep condolences to all three of you. And I wish to reiterate that tonight and let you know that you are in our thoughts and prayers.
Thank you very much. It's very kind.
Thank you.
Greatly
You're
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sorry for your losses.
So at this point, we will close the meeting and we will reconvene in November. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, everyone. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.